Manipulation is a word that can sound very serious and dramatic. We might think of it as something that only happens in movies or complicated plots. However, it is much more common than we realize and often happens in very subtle ways in our everyday lives. It can occur in our relationships with family, friends, partners, or even coworkers. Manipulation is when someone tries to control or influence you in a clever and often unfair way. They want you to do something that serves their own needs, not yours. It can feel like someone is pulling invisible strings, making you act or feel a certain way without you fully understanding why. Learning to see these strings is the first step toward reclaiming your own power and making choices that are truly your own. So, what exactly is manipulation? Think of it simply as a form of indirect influence. Instead of asking for what they want directly and honestly, a manipulative person will use tricky methods to get their way. For example, imagine a friend who wants you to lend them money. A direct approach would be, "Could you please lend me some money? I'll pay you back next week." A manipulative approach might sound like, "You're always so good with money and you're my best friend. I don't know what I'd do without you. I'm in a really tough spot right now." This second approach uses flattery and plays on your sense of loyalty to make it harder for you to say no. It's not about a fair request. It's about using your emotions against you to achieve a goal. Understanding the difference between healthy influence and manipulation is key. Healthy influence is based on respect, honesty, and open communication. When someone influences you in a positive way, they respect your right to disagree and make your own decision. They present their case, but the final choice is yours, free of pressure or guilt. Manipulation, on the other hand, often leaves you feeling confused, guilty, or obligated. It disregards your feelings and rights. The goal is control, not cooperation. Recognizing this fundamental difference is crucial because manipulation can slowly erode your self-confidence and your ability to trust your own judgment. It makes you question your reality and your own perceptions. This essay is designed to be your guide to spotting these everyday tactics. We will explore some of the most common forms of manipulation so that you can recognize them when they happen. We will look at specific strategies people use, like making you doubt your own memory or showering you with excessive affection to get what they want. By the end, you will have a clearer understanding of what to look for and, more importantly, what you can do to protect yourself. The goal is not to become suspicious of everyone, but to become more aware. This awareness will empower you to build healthier, more honest relationships based on mutual respect, where you feel safe and in control of your own life. One of the most powerful and confusing manipulative tactics is called gaslighting. This term comes from an old play where a husband tries to make his wife believe she is going crazy by secretly dimming their gas-powered lights and then denying it. When you are being gaslighted, someone is trying to make you doubt your own sanity, your memory, or your perception of reality. They might say things like, "That never happened, you're being too sensitive," or "You're imagining things." An everyday example is when you clearly remember your partner promising to do something, but when you bring it up, they insist they never said it. They might even say, "You have a terrible memory, you're always getting things wrong." This can make you feel very confused and start to believe you are the problem. Another common tactic is love bombing. This is when someone overwhelms you with attention, affection, and gifts at the beginning of a relationship. It feels wonderful and incredibly flattering at first. They might tell you that you are their soulmate after only a few weeks, send you constant messages, and want to spend every moment with you. While this might seem romantic, love bombing is often a strategy to make you feel dependent on them and their approval. Once they feel they have you hooked, they can start to pull away or use that initial intensity to control you. For example, if you want to spend time with your friends, they might say, "But I thought we had something special. I just want to be with you all the time." This makes you feel guilty for wanting your own space. Guilt tripping is a tactic that nearly everyone has experienced at some point. It happens when someone makes you feel responsible for their feelings or their problems to get you to do what they want. They use your sense of guilt and obligation as a weapon. A classic example is a family member who says, "After all I've done for you, you can't do this one little thing for me?" This statement is designed to make you feel like you are ungrateful or a bad person if you say no. A friend might use it by saying, "I guess I'll just have to go to the party alone and be miserable then," when you tell them you are too tired to go out. They are placing the responsibility for their happiness squarely on your shoulders, which is an unfair and manipulative burden to carry. These three tactics, gaslighting, love bombing, and guilt tripping, are powerful because they target your core emotions. Gaslighting attacks your trust in yourself. Love bombing preys on your need for affection and connection. Guilt tripping uses your sense of duty and compassion against you. Often, a manipulative person will use a combination of these strategies, which can make the situation even more confusing. One day they might be showering you with love, and the next they are making you feel guilty for a small mistake. This emotional roller coaster is designed to keep you off balance and make you easier to control. Recognizing these patterns is the first and most important step in breaking free from their influence. The first step to spotting manipulation is to pay close attention to how you feel during and after an interaction with someone. Your emotions are a powerful guide. Do you often feel confused, anxious, or on edge around a particular person? Do you find yourself constantly apologizing, even when you are not sure what you did wrong? Manipulative conversations often leave you feeling drained, small, or full of self-doubt. You might have gone into the conversation feeling confident, but you leave it questioning your own thoughts and feelings. This is a major red flag. If a relationship consistently makes you feel bad about yourself, it is worth taking a closer look at the dynamics at play. Trust your gut feelings. They are often your internal alarm system telling you that something is not right. Another important tip is to look for patterns in behavior. A single instance of someone making you feel guilty might just be a mistake or a bad day. However, manipulation is rarely a one-time event. It is a repeated pattern of behavior. Does this person always make you feel responsible for their emotions? Do they frequently deny saying things you clearly remember? Do they often shower you with praise right before they ask for a big favor? Start to notice if there is a cycle. For example, a cycle of love bombing and then withdrawal is a classic manipulative pattern. Keeping a mental note or even a private written one can help you see these recurring behaviors more clearly. This is not about building a case against someone, but about gaining clarity for your own well-being. Listen carefully to the language people use. Manipulators are often masters of words, using them to twist situations to their advantage. They often use you statements that place blame, such as, "You always overreact," or "You made me do this." They also rely on generalizations like always and never to make their points sound more dramatic and absolute. Another thing to watch for is when someone constantly plays the victim. They might have a story for why nothing is ever their fault, and how everyone is always against them. This can be a way to get your sympathy, so you will let your guard down and do what they want. Honest communication involves I statements, like "I felt hurt when you said that," and takes responsibility for one's own actions. Finally, watch for how they react when you try to set a boundary. A healthy person will respect your limits, even if they are disappointed. A manipulative person will push back. If you say, "I can't lend you any money right now," a manipulator won't just accept it. They might try to guilt trip you. "I thought we were friends," question your reasons, or get angry. Their negative reaction to your boundary is a clear sign that they are more interested in control than in respecting you as a person. The simple act of saying no can be a powerful test. A manipulator sees your no as a challenge to be overcome, while a respectful person sees it as a valid expression of your needs and limits. This reaction tells you everything you need to know about their true intentions. Once you recognize that someone might be trying to manipulate you, the most important thing you can do is to create some distance. This does not always mean you have to cut the person out of your life completely, although sometimes that is necessary. It can simply mean creating emotional or physical space. You can do this by reducing the amount of time you spend with them or limiting the personal information you share. If you feel pressured in a conversation, you can say, "I need some time to think about that," and walk away. This gives you a chance to clear your head and check in with your own feelings, away from their influence. Creating space allows you to break the spell of the manipulation and reconnect with your own sense of reality and your own needs. Strengthening your personal boundaries is another crucial step. Boundaries are the limits you set for yourself on what you will and will not accept from other people. To protect yourself from manipulation, you need to have clear, firm boundaries. Practice saying no without feeling the need to give a long explanation or apology. A simple, "No, I can't do that," is a complete sentence. If someone is guilt-tripping you, you can state your boundary by saying, "I am sorry you feel that way, but I am not responsible for firm boundaries." Practice saying no without feeling the need to give a long explanation or apology. A simple, "No, I can't do that," is a complete sentence. If someone is guilt-tripping you, you can state your boundary by saying, "I am sorry you feel that way, but I am not responsible for your happiness." This can be very difficult at first, especially if you are used to pleasing others, but it gets easier with practice. Remember, setting a boundary is not selfish. It is a vital act of self-care and self-respect. Seek support from people you trust. Manipulation can be very isolating, and a manipulator often tries to cut you off from your friends and family. This is because people on the outside can often see the situation more clearly. Talk to a trusted friend, family member, or a professional therapist about what you are experiencing. Explaining the situation to someone else can help you validate your own feelings and see the manipulative patterns more clearly. Hearing an outside perspective like, "That doesn't sound right," or "That sounds really unfair," can be incredibly empowering. It reminds you that you are not crazy and that your feelings are valid. You do not have to go through this alone. A strong support system is a powerful defense. Finally, and most importantly, work on rebuilding your trust in yourself. Manipulation chips away at your self-esteem and makes you doubt your own judgment. Make a conscious effort to listen to your intuition and honor your feelings. Remind yourself that you have the right to your own perceptions and decisions. You can start small by making daily choices based on what you want, not what you think others expect of you. Every time you trust your gut, set a boundary, or make a choice that honors your well-being, you are taking a step toward reclaiming your power. Anyone can learn to spot manipulation and protect themselves. It is a skill, and like any skill, it gets stronger the more you use it. You are capable and you deserve to be treated with respect.